This is the Pre-70V, which is a 70-volt stereo preamp mixer, your ultimate solution for versatile, high-quality audio in any commercial or even home setting. The Pre-70V comes complete with everything you need: a preamplifier, remote, rack mount ears, FM radio antenna, and even how to set up videos. And with 8 mono or 4 stereo zones, all with independent volume controls and lots of source playback options like Bluetooth, optical, and RCA inputs, this will be your go-to 70-volt product for your next installation for your restaurant, cafe, school, office, gym, commercial space, or even in your home. This mixer/preamp is designed to work seamlessly with any 70-volt power amplifier up to 500 watts, especially an amp like the Crown CDI 1000. And each zone, whether you're using it in 4-zone stereo or 8-zone mono, can have an unlimited amount of speakers wired in parallel as long as you do not exceed the power of the amplifier that is plugged into this. This is a huge benefit of 70-volt systems. 70-volt systems allow you to run large amounts of speakers at a fixed and constant wattage off of one amplifier. So you could run over 100 speakers off of one amp if you match the watts being drawn by the speakers to the total wattage of the amp. Now, we are able to do this because every 70-volt speaker has a built-in transformer called a tap that pulls a fixed amount of wattage from the amplifier to your speaker. Furthermore, for many 70-volt speakers, this tap also allows you to change and choose the amount of watts your speaker pulls from your 70-volt amplifier. So since this preamp can work with any amp up to 500 watts, you could tap each speaker at 5 watts and have up to 100 speakers in this system. Now, before I say anything else, let's go check out a demo we have set up.
What's up, guys? So here I am with the Pre-70V all set up and ready to go, and what this does is turns any 70-volt amplifier like our Crown 1000 here into a multi-zone setup. You can plug in 2 microphones, you can connect any music source like a Bluetooth device, you got an optical input in the back if you want to connect your TV. You got plenty of options with the preamp here. So for our demo today, I've set up 2 zones. I've got my first speaker here as zone 1, then I got zone 2 across over there, and let's just show off the preamp and see what it can do. So first things first, we have the chime button over here, which is great to use if you want to grab people's attention before you make an announcement. So I'm going to press it right now. And you hear it throughout each zone, which is great, so no matter where you are, you know that something's coming. Like I mentioned, there's 2 microphone inputs, so we have one in the front, which is for the priority mic, which is great to use for a paging microphone like this one here. So if I turn it on and talk into the microphone, check 1, 2, you'll be able to hear my voice through each speaker, which is great. Hello, hello, check 1, 2. Then we have the mic input on the back for an additional microphone, like this one here. Check 1, 2, hello, hello. And the cool thing about the second mic input is that you can put an echo effect on there. So I'm gonna do that right now. Hello, 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 woo! So you wanna give your voice some extra flair for mic 2, you can definitely do that. And then you have plenty of ways to play music, like the USB and SD card input. It's also got Bluetooth, so you can connect any smartphone or tablet, which I actually done before. So I'm gonna play some music and hear how it sounds through each zone. I'm gonna adjust the volume so you hear it first from zone 1, then from zone 2, and then both of them together. So here we go. All right, sounds great. So this is zone 1 right here. I'm gonna lower it down and bring in zone 2. All right, here it comes with zone 2. Nice. Very great from that end as well. And now let's bring them both in together. Nice. So cool. So that's just using 2 of the zones we have available, and what's also really cool is that you can set the preamp to stereo mode so that you can use zones 1 through 4 for the left channel of speakers and zones 5 through 8 for the right channel of speakers, or you can set the preamp to mono mode and use all 8 zones at once so that they're all playing the same thing.
Now, as you just saw in that demo, this unit works alongside a 70-volt amplifier to power the whole system, and wiring is super simple. Installation is a breeze with our detachable Euroblock speaker terminals, and just follow these simple wiring steps to get your system up and running in no time. Step 1. Connect bare wire from the Pre-70V output and plug that into the input of your amplifier. Step 2. Connect bare wire from the output of your power amplifier back to the 70-volt input on the Pre-70V. And step 3. Connect your 70-volt speakers to the speaker outputs on the Pre-70V. And as mentioned before, there is convenient Euroblock speaker terminals that make it super easy to install the wires even if the receiver is hidden in a corner. The terminals are detachable, and once you connect your speaker wire to the terminal, it just clicks into the receiver. Our goal with the Pre-70V is to enable anyone to install 70-volt systems on their own without spending thousands of dollars on a contractor. This model makes connecting many speakers and multiple external sources a breeze. We intentionally use standard plugs like RCA and 1/4 inch on our model to make this more universal and user-friendly. With our unique design, you can feel confident in your DIY ability when installing our commercial system. As mentioned before, we can set these speakers up in different zones or locations through the zone outputs on the back of the preamp. Another benefit of this receiver is that we have independent volume control of each zone, so we can set each zone to different volumes and adjust all of that from the front of the receiver. There is a stereo mono button on the back of the receiver. If you set it to mono mode, it will give you 8 independent zones to section off in your space, and then if you set it to stereo, it will give you 4 stereo or left and right zones for each of the 4 different areas in your space. Now, the Pre-70V allows you to plug in 2 microphones through 1/4 inch inputs on the front and back of the receiver. The 1/4 inch on the front of the receiver acts as the input for our priority microphone that, when used, will override the other signals playing through the receiver for announcements. On the back, there is a mute knob where you can control how much volume will drop out from the music playing through the receiver as you talk through the mic. We recommend using a paging mic like our CH Mic 70 with input 1. You'll also see 2 mic volume knobs to control the volume for each mic, and there's also an echo knob that can be used to add an echo effect to the microphone plugged into mic 2 input on the back. There is also treble and bass knobs that we can use to adjust the overall sound coming through the receiver. The bass knob adjusts the low-end frequencies coming out of the receiver, and the treble knob adjusts the high-end frequencies. There's also a RCA line input that we can use on the back of the receiver for televisions, DVD players, or other music sources, and a line output to expand our setup even further with additional powered speakers or amplifiers. We also have an optical input on the back, so we can connect the receiver to any TV, computer, or gaming console with a optical output. We also have our master volume to control everything coming through the receiver, and the overall volume control for MP3 devices. We can connect MP3 devices using USB or SD card inputs, and this receiver also has Bluetooth capability, so you can connect your smartphone or tablet easily. On top of that, we can use the included wireless remote controller to control all of the functions of the receiver, and there's also a chime button that we can use before making announcements. And last but not least, there's a clipping indicator, so you always know how loud the amp is getting to avoid clipping or distortion. So if you're looking for a 70-volt stereo preamp that can work with any 500-watt 70-volt amplifier, has multiple microphone inputs, multiple zone options, and Bluetooth, optical, and RCA inputs, look no further than the Pre-70V from Rockville.